Today's video is brought to you by Grey Viking Games. Click the link in the description below to buy MTG Arena codes for cosmetics, packs, and more. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Jeff, and today we're going to have some fun playing Magic, and I love playing colorless decks, even though this deck isn't completely colorless. It has one white card, or I guess two with all it glitters, and then we do actually have Scrappy Scrounger, which is black, and Bowman Courier, which is kind of red, and so it's Mardu colors, but really, it's colorless, and that's what we're doing here today. Anyway, so this deck is super fun. I love playing the colorless artifact type decks, and we got so many new pieces in the last few sets that I was like, you know, we got to dive into this. We got Blinkmoth Nexus from the Historic Anthology 4. From Kaladesh, we got a bunch of awesome stuff with Chief of Foundry, with Scrappy Scrounger, with Bowman Courier, and just it's good stuff. We've also got, you know, Forsaken Monument recently. Like, just all these things are really good. So the main idea of this deck is we put out creatures that are artifact creatures, and then we have ways to pump them up like crazy pants. We also have evasive creatures like Gingerbrew, which anything else without haste can't block it for 1 mana, which is great. Ornithopter, it's a free creature that's a flyer. Bowman Courier just has haste, but it gives us some extra discard if we have a Spire of Industries out. That's the only way that we can get some card draw out of this, is if we have Spire of Industries, but we're obviously going to find it, so it's just fine. And then basically we try to pump up these creatures and do awesome big things. Scrappy Scrounger is just a really big attacker. It can't block or anything, but it's still really good. So still Overseer, the first Lord that we have here. 2 mana, 1/1. Tap it to put 1/1/1 counter on each artifact creature you control. We do have Karn in the deck as well to go grab a few things. We have the other Karn too, just because I feel like the flavor just needed to be there, which means that we can go grab some other things. I threw in like Voltaic Servant just because it's a really fun combo with Still Overseer. So at the end step, you can untap target artifact that you have, and so if you can tap with Still Overseer, untap it, and then untap it again, and you get 2/1/1 counters on all your creatures for the turn. The biggest issue with this one is that you kind of want to wait till your end step to do this, which it does make it a little bit harder sometimes to go aggro with this, because it's not like an Anthem effect on turn 2 where all your 1-drops can suddenly attack and for more damage. It's like, okay, we played out on turn 2, so that next turn we can then tap it because it doesn't have haste, and then the turn after that we can get even bigger. And it feels a little bit awkward with it, but it still is sometimes faster and puts more power onto creatures than Chief of Foundry or Still Tempered Still, which are other two Anthem effects. Chief of Foundry, 3 mana, 2/3 other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. So that does the thing that we're wanting to do, just put counters onto everything, or just get, not counters, but give them all +1/+1, which is awesome. Then Tempered Still, giving everything +2/+2, and then we have, of course, Forsaken Monument, which gives all colorless creatures +2/+2. This is a little bit more expensive to get to. Honestly, we're trying to finish out games before we get up to that point, but I did want to throw in Karn just because Karn does interact with all of the decks that we've had out there. We've gotten more and more good ways to interact with everything too, with the new sets coming out, and so I felt like Karn is definitely worth bringing in, just because one of the biggest issues with going in colorless deck is that you don't have ways to deal with other decks out there. You don't have black for removal, you don't have white for other stuff, you know, like, unless you are splashing into one color just for counter spells or just for whatever it is that you want to do, which a lot of decks do that, but it still isn't always the best way to go. And in fact, I just realized that we also want to add in the where is it, Sheffet Dunes here instead of the all planes. There we go. Boom, bam, done. That way we can have more colorless mana for Forsaken Monument. We should be able to gain enough life or do whatever we need to refine. All the Glitters is just a fantastic way to just finish off. Like I said, we have Gingerbrew or Ornithopter, which are 2 main evasive creatures, and also 1 Heart of Kieran in the sideboard. That works really well with Karns and everything like that. But if we can throw in all the glitters onto one of these guys with all the artifacts that we're creating, it should just be a 2-turn win combo with that. And so I felt like it was worth having, especially because we're in white. Between the 9 lands here, Spire of Industry, we do have 13 white sources to be able to play out our white cards, which I'm not sure is enough for Tempered Still. We're going to try it out. It may not be enough to play it out on turn 3 consistently, but potentially turn 4 or whatever, like it should be fairly consistent to be able to get up to that amount. In our other lands that we have in here, we have things like Crawling Barrens, which works really well with Forsaken Monument. Blinkmoth Nexus, which also works great. It's another flying evasive artifact creature that we can have that goes out there, which is just really nice. That's also what came out with Historic Anthology 4. Inventor's Fair to go tutor up any artifact that we have in our deck. Seems legit. I think it's only activate if we have 3 or more artifacts, so we can't have like a board wipe and then do this, but it still can let us go find the one thing that we need, which might be like a Gingerbrew to go finish out the game, and then Radiant Fountain to gain us a little bit of life. Maybe we don't want the Radiant Fountain, we want more white mana. We're gonna see how it goes, but yeah, this is the deck, guys. Let's go jump into the gameplay, see how it does for us, and wish me luck. Here we go. All right, up against Enginner, and we do have our white our white cards without any white mana, which is what we expected. But we do have Bowmet Courier into Still Overseer, which is still fantastic. If we find one good card here, then we're fine. Yeah, one colored source, and all of a sudden everything is just fine. We actually would prefer a Spire of Industry right now, so that we can have Bowmet Courier online as well as all that glitters. Oh yeah. Ooh, and a second Steel Overseer. Ooh. All right, up against a deck that will most likely have removal. That's terrifying. Hopefully it's more Shredder Skull Smashings and not shocks or things that deal with this right away. That'd be bad. Mind Stone. All right. That's a white source. Guess what? I think we actually want to make sure that Bowmet Courier stays protected against removal here. So I can either throw out a second Steel Overseer, which then board wipe becomes really annoying here. I think that what we do is we actually activate the ability here first. That's going to happen anyway. And I'm debating if I want to throw out all the glitters and hold on to a creature back, because they could have Storm's Wrath or something like that here in just a smidge. So let's go ahead and attack in for 5. All right. Down to 13, past the turn. Yeah, since this is our only creature left in hand, I think it is better that we hold back just in case they have Storm's Wrath. If they do Storm's Wrath here, we still lose our Bowmet Courier. If it was like an what's the one that cycles? The Sweltering Suns. Then it survives the Sweltering Suns though, so you know, booyah. Yeah, because all the glitters will give it, giving it +1/+1 for the Still Overseer right now. All right, opponent, what you got there, sir? Interplanar Beacon. All right, so it is mono red walkers, so they definitely have board wipes. Just depends on which ones they're playing. Anger of the Gods is annoying here. Actually, wait, how much is Anger of the Gods? I don't even remember. I might be thinking of a completely different one. They might have like Flame Sweep or something here. Chandra's Regulator. Okay, Chandra Tribal. Ooh, sweet. All right, Still Overseer. Number 2. Is it better to attack in for 8 here or attack in for 7 with the Bowmet Courier putting a counter onto this? I think getting this up to higher, like getting away from some removal, can be nice. Attack in. If we ever find Spire of Industry, we're gonna have so much card draw. It's insane. It's gonna be amazing. The issue here is that they probably have things like a Braid as well. This also puts more power onto these guys, so that if we do find like a white source, we can Tempered Still. Even if this dies, we can swing in for the win. Yeah, we're good, obviously. Okay, so they did have the Sweltering Suns, sweet. So Bowmet Courier stays around. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive. Bolts themselves. Has removal. A Braid. All right, yeah. Bad stuff indeed. Crawling Barrens. Oh man, we're so close to be able to use this Crawling Barrens. We're getting close to the Forsaken Monument as well. So I can put counters onto it now. Yeah, we need one more land. I'd rather just get out more creatures. They're down to 2 cards left. They have Mind Stones to draw cards. They have other things to be able to do stuff. I guess they can discard a mountain or a red card to draw a card here. The red cards are probably the removal that they want though. So they are up to the mana for Chandra's, the big Chandra and all the other ones. All right. Filtering. All right, that does kill our stuff. That's bad. And they're gaining life with the Interplanar Beacon Key. Land for Crawling Barrens. Do I go for Forsaken Monument first? we already seen they have a braid, so I don't think it's worthwhile. I think we do just Crawling Barrens attack in, and then we just do it one more time and win. Oh, okay, that does shut us down a little bit more. Okay, Blinkmoth Nexus. All right, so if I play out Forsaken Monument, they trade off with Heart of Kiran, and Heart of Kiran dies. And then we can Crawling Barrens on the next turn for more because we have all colorless mana. Yeah, I think it's worthwhile. Heart of Kiran is really good with Planeswalkers. All right, so we could see what they are willing to trade off with. They might let Chandra go. If we attack their face, they have to block with Heart of Kiran. And I'm okay with the life total being there. I'd rather actually get rid of the Chandra, just so they don't get as much advantage. I mean, they're going to have to probably protect it anyway. But this at least gives them a second option. And I think that I get more value out of it, ultimately, than this. All right, so they still just block. Trade off. Cool. They have Guardian Idol for the next turn. They can bring into play. We have Blinkmoth Nexus, which becomes a 3/3. And if we find another Blinkmoth Nexus, we can put the counter on to give it +1/+1 till end of turn. Yep.
Ever see a volcano erupt in person? You're about to.
Up to 5. That is annoying. Crawling Barrens. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we still have enough. Actually, we have lethal here, right? Yeah, we have lethal now. Yeah, okay. So, +1/+1. Take action. Put 2 more counters on. Yep. And then attack face. No mana. Okie dokie then. Sweet stuff, my friends. Ooh, yeah. All right, so it was a little bit awkward to have this Tempered Still, but that's because we found the other lands that do stuff, you know? And so I that's going to happen sometimes where we don't get the Tempered Still. I think that if we had Tempered Still on turn 3, we probably would have closed this game out a lot faster. But, you know, it was still fun. I enjoyed it. All right, up against Alex Mio, and keep this hand. This one is a little bit slow, but we're on the draw, and we have ways to interact with stuff and ways to go a bit long. We have lots of life gain, and so I'm hoping that we can just kind of maintain here a little bit. All right, 2 white sources, which is nice. We will get those out before the next Radiant Fountain. And that is our 4th land to get the Karn, although now I'm feeling like we're gonna be in trouble because it's Mono Bloom Tempo. So if this resolves, we might be able to build a big enough board. If it does not, we might just insta scoop because we're so far behind at that point. Being on the draw against this deck without like a really, really busted hand just typically means you're in for lots of crying and not enjoying the game of Magic at all. And that's what's happened. They have the perfect hand. How about that? Oh boy. Oh boy. Yes, it's my favorite. Still Overseer. I'll play out like a couple more turns, but I just like, this is a deck that the first 3 turns matter so much, and what you have in your deck matters so much as well. Yeah, they just had the perfect hand. They have more ways of drawing cards. Let's see. I mean, that's the one way that you can sometimes win this. They haven't missed a land drop yet. They could have 2 more lands in hand. They could just be running dead. If they don't have any more counter spells, then we get to play out 2 Scrappy Scroungers and then maybe like a Forsaken Monument on the next turn and just like hit face hard. And so that's what we're gonna do. You know, they're drawing all the cards, but the thing they're not doing is, you know, like stopping us from playing Magic just yet. Oh wait, no, but that's what they've been doing. They've been noping us the whole time. But we're gonna play these out. Oh boy. Yeah. Do I nope that? They can just get it back. You nope this one. I don't know. And if we can't nope the Forsaken Monument, I mean, at this point, we're at least still like contending. I'm a contender. I'm more Cutthroat and the counterspell. If they do have the counterspell here, I am done. Wait, not a counterspell. You don't say. Things we can't block, though. Oh, boy. Down to 2 cards left. 1 card left. That means last card has to be a counterspell. They don't remember that they don't actually block here. All right. So this card, I don't think can grab anything good against this, except maybe like Ratchet Bomb, which does hurt us as well, but that actually could be decent. Karn, although I think it might be a little bit too slow. This Karn at least throws out some pretty big threats. One of these is getting countered though. I'm almost guaranteed. So let's go ahead and throw out this Karn. Because I'm fine with them countering this. We have another one. Yeah. Which makes Brightmore Cutthroat biglier. One more spell and it can block and chump these guys. And then we're officially done. We're also losing the race now. So I'm done here. We're not winning this matchup. It's not gonna happen. Especially because Terrimander also just becomes a 6/6 right here. It gets to put 4 more counters onto itself because now they have enough mana and everything that we're just taking almost lethal right there. Yeah, we're done. All right, up against Black or Lotus, and this is actually a pretty sweet hand. We're gonna go ahead and keep this. Ooh man, I forgot I actually have these card sleeves. I need to add those into this. All right, so let's go out with Plains and Bowmat Courier. I'm not sure if I want to throw out the Ornithopters right away. This is mono red, so it could be blockers for us. We are going to get up to Tempered Steel, but it's in some cases it's better to play it out on the next turn. Let's throw out 1 right now, just as a blocker, pass the turn. I'd rather keep the other one alive. The place where it becomes good is if we draw like a All That Glitters on the next turn, which then one of them being out there is still nice. Yeah, this is the busted hand that we've been dreaming of our entire lives. What you got there, sir? Oh, this is still just mono red. Okay, I was thinking it was Gruul for a second, but I think this is still just mono red. Burning Tree Emissary goes into all of the good decks because it's all of the good stuff. Down to 18. Sweet. That gives us not a turn 2 play though. Let's go for this. Let's go for gain some lives. No attacks past the turn. So we do go for... Actually, do we go for Chief of the Foundry first and then Tempered Steel? Because that gives us another artifact creature out for the turn that we swing in harder. This gives us more ability to block really well, though, which might be worthwhile. Frostbite, okay. All right, block Bowmat Courier. Please don't have a... I mean, yeah. If they had a Stomp or a Shock or whatever, they would be able to kill these guys anyway. So if you want to, you can go for it. All right, let's just get out Tempered Steel first. This is something that they can't actually deal with, and it makes all of our guys really annoying for them to deal with for the rest of the game. So yes. I think we actually hold back as blockers right now. No attacks. Yeah, they have 5, we have 4. We're not winning the race, so we don't race. Yeah. That's how it works, right? They could have Embercleave online, not an Embercleave in hand. All right. Still Overseer, though. That is annoying. All right, so we block here, we block here. We actually don't want them to have the Earthshaker Kenra. They're pretty close to the 6 mana already. Got a Stomp. Okay, that's fine. It is Stomped our 0 cost card, so you know. Okay. Chief of the Foundry. Ginger Brute. Let's attack in here. They might be running like a Braids or something in this deck as well. We do need to start putting some pressure on life total though, so let's go with just the Ginger Brute this time. They get to draw with the Bowmat Courier on the next turn and play Bonecursed Giant at the least. Down to 15. I think Embercleave is still probably the most annoying thing that could happen. Yeah, they should have waited to draw the card with... Okay, if it's a land, then that's good. All right, so they're getting up to the 6 for the Earthshaker Kenra. Can we just keep taking 2 there? Is that okay? If they get 1 land, then they can bring it back as a 4/4. I think I'd rather keep it up. Not kill it yet. At the same time, though, if we eventually have to do it, then they just get it anyway. It's power less than or equal to. So if I can get something bigger, though, they can't stop all of the blockers. All right, Karn. Card draw or construct? Let's go construct first. I think we can actually close this game out fairly quickly now. Let's go with Chief of the Foundry. Ornithopter. Hits for 7. We have 2 good blockers. Yeah. I like this deck, man. It is good. Down to 8. The biggest issue is the lack of interaction of sorts. All right, Hazoret. That is probably one of the worst cards for them to have found, and it still isn't all that bad. They do have a couple creatures with haste though, so Gingerroot becomes a lot worse. Okay, Chief of the Foundry again. Let's actually still make another construct here. We win by going crazy pants on them right now. So they have 1 reach creature. Let's just attack in with that, dude. The 10/10 as well. Indestructible blocker. I could offer up 2 or 3 creatures for them to try to block. Then they get Earthshaker Kenra that comes back. Yeah, let's not do that yet. Let's just go for the Ornithopter. We can pressure them the next turn a little bit better. We can start drawing cards. Get another Scrap Heap Scrounger out. Takes it past the turn. I guess them getting a card here with Throbber is probably a better chance for them to win. And opponent soups it up. Yeah. Their only chance of winning there, I think, was the Embercleave. We kept our life total high enough that Hazoret couldn't quite get in for just like incidental damage well enough. We had enough big blockers that we could kind of manhandle them at this point a little bit. Their one chance was probably getting to Earthshaker Kenra, but if they did attack in, then they didn't have enough blockers to survive. And so, yeah, that was good game. Good game. I like that one. All right, up against Magic Max, and we have 1 white source in the Tempered Steel, and all of our 1 drops or 0 drops. So, yeah, we're going to keep this. I mean, this is like as good as it gets, right? So, sure. That's good, too. All right, which one do we want to be putting counters on to? Bowmat Courier or Gingerbrute? I think it's Gingerbrute. So let's lead off with, let's not show him the white mana just yet. Be super sneaky about it. You know? All right, so Gingerbrute. They might flash in something here. Okay, Ornithopter. Okay, attacking with Gingerbrute. Board wipes. Could be counterspell here as well. Or Omen of the Sea or something if you have a sensor. Bummer, dude. Alright, if we can resolve the Tempered Still, we're in good shape. Still has a counterspell held up. Give us white source? No, nope, nope, nope. Well, we can... They don't have Sensor now, but they probably have Doomscar foretold there. Alright, down to 15. Pass the turn. We are overcommitting to this board. This is one of the biggest issues, is that this deck, it does crazy awesome things and it is really aggressive, but it's worse against control than mono red is. How about that? Or like some of the other aggro decks just do better because they have better interaction, they have more stuff. Just being in full colorless, this requires us to be able to resolve non-creature spells, which people run spell pierces, people run other things, and that's just not good sometimes. All right, let's see if they interact to us attacking in here. Do I want to hit to fairy? We're not doing a whole lot of damage right now anyway. I think I'd rather force them to interact of some sort. All right, well, does Karn resolve? Land to start using Crawling Barrens is probably our biggest hope. A dream within a dream. Counterspell, of course. And Castle Ardenvale. That actually doesn't give them enough to activate it. They don't have a third white source. That does give them enough to Doomscar. I've decided that that's bad. After much deliberation, I've decided that sucks, you know? All right, well, Crawling Barrens. We're in the game. Yeah, let's attack to fairy again. Until it's bigger, just keeping them off of... Hopefully getting this down by the time is better. Ooh, yeah. Kill the room.
No time for a break.
Oh, I hate you so much. They top deck a Field of Ruin right after. They probably didn't top deck it. They probably had it for a while. But still, dumb. Ooh, now we have Blinkmoth Nexus. Take that, fool. What you gonna do about that? I only have to kill one of these guys. Oh, yeah. I should have left up the planes actually here, because I would have been able to play Tempered Still. I guess not totally. Kill the Ruin. Yep, kills it. Cool. Are we done here? We're done here, right? Yeah. The one thing that we had that would get us back to the game, they found the answer for immediately. That is my kind of luck, guys. Like, I honestly, this happens so often. It's a little bit ridiculous. Like, there's only a few cards that people play that can answer this thing. Oh, you got it right away. And the next thing. And then, okay, then. Like, they just, it always happens. I mean, so there's some things where it's like Doomscars. Of course, people are going to be playing Doomscars. You don't keep a hand that doesn't get you up to Doomscar. But the Field of Ruin, wow, good stuff. Up against CFG Jobber, all of our colors. Wowzers, keep this. Spire of Industry, Ginger Brew, attack in. Nice stuff. Still Overseer into Chief of the Foundry, counters onto everything into Karn. Oh, boy, the only thing that could be better here is a Tempered Steel off the top. Ooh, up against goblins though. I get it. That can be bad. Still Overseer. I want to see. I'm definitely fine trading off the Cirque Prospector here. Like, absolutely. Unless they have another one, which could be annoying, but that's their main way to ramp up into big things, right? So yeah. We have Spire of Industry and Scrap Heap Scrounger, which is nice. Chef at Dunes, Chief. Pass the turn. We can do it at instant speed, so. Cranko. Oh no. Alright, well, let's see here. Thought they're actually going to attack in for a second. So we Karn and we grab Sorcerer's Spyglass.
I will fight. Score fencer.
Pass the turn. They should be able to get a big turn with Krenko here. Then we can grab Grafdigger's Cage as well. If we hit land, we can play out 3 things on this next turn, which would be really nice. If we can stop Muxus and Krenko, this deck becomes so much worse. Not like it's not good, but you know. Ooh, Realm Walker. Going to green for the Realm Walker. I actually like that. That's actually pretty sweet stuff. Because then you can play Muxuses off the top. Ha yeah. Sounds good to me. Alright, let's go ahead and put counters onto these guys again. Alright, so. Sorcerer's Spyglass. Didn't hit a land, unfortunately. But Sorcerer's Spyglass. They do have Muxus in hand on Krenko. Which one is it? Mob Boss. So no more Krenko. -2. Grab Grafdigger's Cage. The only issue is that they do have a creature that can still work with Krenko on the top of the deck. But we'll see. All right, pass the turn. No more Krenko, no more Muxus. We still have a lot of good things. We have another Karn to be able to help us out there a bit. Scrappy Scroungers can actually block, but we can keep bringing him back potentially. All right, counter to the Chief of Foundry. It dies. Script Prospector. I mean, they can just keep playing creatures off the top of the deck, which is annoying. Backs in. Yeah, we get to kill one of them. Oh no, they got our Karn. Looks like we'll have to find another one. Tempered Still is interesting too. Not yet. What are we grabbing with Karn? I didn't actually put Forsaken Monuments in the sideboard. I probably should have.
I will fight with honor. I am not frightened by you.
Ratchet Bomb is pretty good. So I can destroy tokens with this right away. Heart of Kieran isn't the worst, but that's actually not like exactly what we're going for. Aetherflux Reservoir could be kind of interesting. Mystic Forge could be good. Like let's see what else can hurt them. Another Sorcerer's Spyglass. Stop Skirk Prospector. Yeah, Ratchet Bomb is pretty sweet stuff though. We can't take it up to 1 or 2 because that loses our Sorcerer's Spyglass and our Grafdigger's Cage. So we basically only want to do it on tokens, which tokens are kind of gone now. So I think actually it's either like a snake just to have a creature out there, or it's a Aetherflux has some interest, or another Sorcerer's Spyglass, which I think actually is another Sorcerer's Spyglass instead. No attacks past the turn. So the 2 other activated things is the Conspicuous Snoop, which can activate a Krenko off the top of the deck if they find a Krenko, which is a little bit more unlikely than them just going off with a Skirk Prospector a little bit. With Realm Walkers, they can go off kind of crazy with this still. And so I think we just throw it out, get rid of a Prospector. Nothing has haste, right? How important is this right now? Not necessarily super important. All right, let's go Tempered Still. Ginger Brute.
My allies are counting on me.
Heart of Kieran could be interesting. Heart of Kieran's another evasive creature we can attack in with that gives us 6 damage. Snake is decent. I went for like more cheap stuff in general because I didn't want to, we're not necessarily ramping this deck. So I do have quite a few cheap things. Voltaic Servant can also be decent blocker here to keep our life total a little bit higher. Let's go Heart of Kieran though. No attacks past the turn. Castle Embereth. We can also stop Castle Embereth from being activated with Spyglass. Muxus. Muxus is still just a big dude. So yeah, Grafdigger stops it. At least it can be a big dude. Ginger Brute. Heart of Kieran. If I put these out as creatures, they can actually use them. Grafdigger's Cage, I think, is probably more okay with having it die. And then it's a 4/4 blocker that can also pump up the Heart of Kieran. I can also just... So yeah, let's go Grafdigger's Cage here.
Allow me to introduce you to a friend of mine.
Alright, does anything have haste? No, okay. Okay, attack in there. Now they've played out the Muxus Grafdigger's Cage. Even if it does die, it's annoying, but we can make it work. They still get to play stuff off the top of their deck. And so getting rid of Skirk Prospector could be the most beneficial thing. They keep getting just lands off the top. That's nice. So yeah, Muxus gets bigger for each... +1 for each goblin you control. So that's big stuff. It's for 10. Let's see. I actually do want to keep 2 Ginger Brutes around. This guy also pumps our Ginger Brutes, so we get a hit in for more this next turn. I could throw Grafdigger's Cage in front of it, but they might have a Muxus on top, and they're swinging on purpose here. We're going to take it. Down to 8. That means we have to be really careful about not being overly defensive here. Actually, do we win with Heart of Kieran? I think we do. Okay, so we get to Sorcerer Spyglass onto Skirk Prospector. We get to... This can't be blocked. This can't be blocked. And then, I guess why not? We'll just go ahead and do this.
Some solutions must be built.
Okay, that becomes a 7/7. Attack in. That should be lethal. Alright, sweet. Got that. Nice! I actually really like the idea of Realm Walker instead of the Goblin, the Goblin's Horn or whatever. Actually, yeah. I'm a big fan of Realm Walker into this deck. It does definitely probably hurt the mana base to an extent, but I feel like just, yeah, between Stomping Grounds, Rebound Crags, and Pathways, you should be just fine. So good stuff indeed. All right, so there you guys have it with the constructs, and pretty sweet stuff. We went 3 and 2 with the deck. Oh, where's my stats? There we go. And so I had fun with it. 60% win rate on the draw 3 times. And so yeah, we definitely did worse on the draw. We lost against control was basically how it went. And I think we were on the draw both times against control, which does affect things a little bit. Like we have a much better chance of winning with an aggro deck if we're on the play against control decks. Especially on those ones, I think I even kept slower hands as well. So that's going to happen sometimes. But the deck is really powerful. It's super good. It beat mono red. It beat goblins. You know, it was doing well against the other aggro-y decks. And so super fun time with this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And see you guys next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.